Hello YouTube chess lovers and my friends, this is Gunjan here. Welcome to my 41st episode of Chess Trap series. In this episode, I'm going to show you a wonderful high-profile trap in the modern Scandinavian variation from the white perspective. The opening arises after the following order: e4, d5, e captures d5, and now rather than taking back with the queen, black choose the other option, namely knight to f6. Okay, the main line continue with d4, and white's big idea is when black recapture this pawn, he wants to play c4, not only attacking the knight, but grabbing every single space in the center of the board. Well, by far the most popular choice is knight to b6, and after that, here my recommendation is you should continue with knight to f3. Now, if you check this position in online database, black has tried majority 2 of these moves, and amongst them, if your opponent continue with g6, then in my past, I have created a video named as Handling Various Scandinavian Defenses. So if you haven't checked it out, I strongly insist you to watch that video, which will give you a very good idea how to play against the move g6. But more often than not, you are going to face the move bishop to g4, as this move looks very logical. Not only it's attacking the knight, but there is a huge pressure going on the d4 pawn. Here my proposal is you should continue with first c5, asking the question to this knight, and once again, if your opponent continue with knight to d7, then that leads to very passive play by black. So that's why majority of the games continue with d5, which at first sight looks very logical, as black has centralized his knight at the center of the table. However, believe it or not, but black has straight away fallen into white's trappy territory. The trappy business start with this very cute move, queen to b3. So clearly white is attacking the b7 pawn, and accordingly, as I highlighted over here, black has tried various responses, but I'm afraid all of them are miserably failed, and white get winning advantage just within the opening stage. The first move I want to consider is b6, which is obviously a bad move, and the simple refutation goes as follows: knight to e5, attacking the bishop. Kindly note that this bishop can never go to d7, as the d5 knight will hang, and apart from it, if it goes to anywhere else, let's say bishop to e6, we have this following nice sequence: bishop to b5 check. c6 is the only response which will not lose a piece, but after that, yup, you guess it, knight captures c6, attacking the queen as well as ready for the discover check. So by force, black has to take this piece, but after bishop captures c6, bishop to d7, nope, we are not going to grab the rook in the corner, but first we are capturing this knight, which is fortunately also threatening a mate, so black has to stop the mate first with e6, and just after that, bishop captures rook, queen takes, and now castle. And if you count the material, at the 14th move of the game, white obtained the whole rook. Isn't that wonderful? The second move I want to consider is bishop captures f3, which is again one of the bad choice by black, as white is not forced to recapture this piece immediately, and instead of that, should perform this accurate move, queen captures b7, attacking the rook. Well, tactical move bishop captures g2 doesn't work here because of the simple bishop captures g2, and now few of the black pieces are hanging with a very bad position. So that is right out of the equation. So that means black has to save the rook with knight to d7. But after that, the simplest move in the world, pawn captures f3, and at the end of the sequence, not only white get extra pawn, but we are still pressurizing this knight. And one of my blitz game against a 2000 rated opponent give you a very good idea how good this position is for the white. My opponent responded with e6, defending the knight. I played knight to c3, pressurizing this knight. And after the following sequence, knight captures c3, pawn captures c3, bishop to e7, and now bishop to f4. You got the answer of all of your questions. In the next few moves, we are going to play bishop to g3, bishop to c4, and then castle on the king side, where with this bishop pair and a healthy pawn advantage, black is clearly suffering in the upcoming middle game. The third move, bishop to c8, already looks very funny because black has wasted so much time with this bishop. However, you should also know how to meet this move, and my recommendation here is bishop to g5, pinning down the e7 pawn. Our plan is very obvious. We want to play bishop to c4, pressurize this knight, and continue with our very fast piece development. Well, again, I just like to highlight how problematic this position is for the black, as in the database, one of the game continue with h6 attacking the bishop, but white doesn't bother about it and continue with bishop to c4. e6 is not possible, so black thought, okay, I will capture this bishop, which will give me the open h file, but the net result is, after bishop captures d5, attacking on f7, and when black defend with e6, he get this root shock. Yup, you got it. Bishop captures b7, bishop captures b7, queen captures b7, attacking the rook, and after knight to d7 and the move queen to c6, again white emerge with an extra pawn and a better position. Last but not least, the most critical response here is knight to c6, and after that our response is force. Yup, we are going to grab this pawn with queen captures b7, and now again black has to be very careful. He doesn't have time to capture this knight as c6 knight hangs with a check, so accordingly black has two choices. Well, if we continue with knight c goes to the b4 square, then this is pretty bad, as after this bishop check, more or less, black can resign the game. Both c6 and bishop to d7 are not working here. If we continue with c6, then the easiest move is bishop captures c6, knight captures c6, queen captures c6, and black is forced to block with the bishop, and after that queen captures d5 gives white a whole piece and a 2-pawn advantage. Same goes for the bishop to d7, as after bishop captures d7, black can't capture with the queen as the rook in the corner hangs, so by force black has to capture with the king, but after that queen to b5 check, c6, now we can play knight to e5 check, and after king to e8 and the move queen to a4. Again and again in this line, white become a pawn advantage, and this time this is even lethal as black king is permanently stuck in the center of the board. Finally, let's check out what we are going to do against black's most critical response, knight d to b4. So not only black is supporting this knight, but he is threatening the move knight to c2 check. And maybe you think that we have to save the fork, right? Well, of course not. as we are going to continue with our aggressive style, bishop to b5. Black is forced to play bishop to d7, but instead of that, if we continue with this foolish move such as knight to c2 check, then after the following sequence, king to f1, now the knight is hanging, so bishop to d7 is forced. But guess what? Bishop captures c6 and black is completely busted due to the multiple threat in this position. For example, if he captures this bishop, then after the following sequence, queen captures c6, queen to d7, queen captures a8 check, queen to d8, queen captures a7, and finally, after knight captures a1, the dust is clear and white obtain a piece and a 2 extra pawn advantage. And instead of capturing the bishop here, if black try to save the rook with rook to c8, then he get the huge trouble with the white's next amazing reply, knight to e5. So this bishop is completely trapped, and the funny part is, if we continue with bishop captures c6, then after queen captures c6, queen to d7 and queen captures d7, we have a picturesque checkmate over the board. So you can see, if your opponent continue with knight to c2 check, then disaster is looming in just within few moves. The best response for the black here is he has to play bishop to d7 to safeguard the c6 knight, and now we reach to one of the critical position of this line. Amazingly enough, if you put this position in any chess engine, it will tell you that after d5, white is completely winning. However, it is bit complicated, and if you are interested in this variation, then I have attached a sample line in the PGN. But instead of that, here my recommendation is you play this very simple sequence which doesn't require any memorization, and at the end white still get a healthy advantage. White should start with bishop captures c6, which forces black to recapture with the knight, and after that the consolidating move, queen to e6. So what we achieve is, first of all, we are healthy pawn up, and the second, we have removed all the complications and achieve a very good position. So that way, over the board, we shouldn't have any problem to convert this into the winning advantage. Let me show you few accurate moves by black and how good white position become. Knight to b4, attacking the queen as well as looking at the juicy c2 square. Well, queen to c4, counter-attacking the knight, rook to b8, and finally white eject this knight with a3. After bishop to e6, queen to e2, knight to c6, attacking the d4 pawn, when white defend with bishop to e3, just look at this position. Not only white has a healthy pawn advantage, but black has some fractured pawn on the queen side. And once white managed to castle, I think with the accurate play, this is definitely a huge advantage to the white camp. That's it guys, I hope you enjoy and learn this high profile trap in the modern Scandinavian variation. Remember, when your opponent churn out this logical move knight to d5, hit him with this crafty move queen to b3, and no matter however black wriggles, white obtain the winning advantage just within the opening stage. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment, and I will meet you in my next episode very soon. Bye and take care.